just found out the truth and you've been looking and you don't know where to start and how to study, you definitely need your King James Version Bible, your Apocrypha, which was taken out of the Bible by the Protestants, and you definitely need your Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This is going to be essential in digging into your lost history of you, Black man, Latino man, and Native American man. These names don't mean anything, but they are for a sign, because there's no nationality of people that God made that he named Black man, Native American man, or Latino man. These names were made up by our slave masters. King James Version. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, who had been King of Scotland for 37 years, as James VI. Several months after he ascended the throne of England, he authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the Bishop's Bible. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups, 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New Testament, and 1 for the Apocrypha. Yes, the Apocrypha was always in the Bible. 2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge, and 2 at Westminster. When a group had completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men, 2 from each panel. Final differences of opinion were settled at a general meeting of each company. In cases of special difficulty, learned men outside the board of revisers were consulted. Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew and Greek words, to draw attention to parallel passages. Italics were used for words not found in the original but necessary to complete the sense. Isaiah 34 and verse 16. Seek out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her made. For my mouth had commanded, and his spirit, it had gathered them. All right. So throughout all the books of the Bible, in the New Testament and the Old Testament, and also the Apocrypha, there's a lot of information that you could go through without going to a bunch of other books. You know, I don't recommend no one to really go deep into the book of Jubilees or even the book of Enoch. All right, Esau got his little dirty hands on them and basically have people thinking that angels, you know, coming down and having sex with human beings. All right, there's an explanation for that. All right, and it's not what Enoch is trying to explain. If that was the case, you would still hear angels knocking women over the head on the 6 o'clock news, all right, because they have a thirst and a lust for women, all right? That is not what happened, okay? Things in the past always comes up again, all right? If that was the deal, you would hear events, you would hear situations like that, because there's nothing new under the sun. Now also go to Revelation 1 and 3. Okay. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand. That was Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3. Now this Bible is a spiritual book, and only the children of Israel were going to be given the understanding to tell the world how to read the Bible and how to understand it. First, you must be keeping the commandments. Secondly, Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10 tells you how to read it, how to read the Bible. You could read it as a novel, but this is how it is supposed to be read. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So what does that mean? A precept in one book will back up a precept in another book. For instance, if I was to prove that Christ was a black man, you would go to Revelation 1 and 14. There would be a precept backing that up in Daniel 10, verse 5 and 6. Okay. Then you could also use Songs of Solomon 1 and 5 to back that up. All right, as a precept, here a little and there a little. Job 30 and 30 says, I am black. And also in Lamentation chapter 5 and verse 10. Okay, so this shows the descendants of Christ, the Israelites, are black men. Okay, most of the wars that were fought in Israel were among dark races, Egyptians, Philistines. All right, this goes on and on. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me, to do thy will, O God. All right. You have many Old Testament Israelites who don't believe in reading the New Testament, who don't believe in Christ. That's a very, very big mistake. Okay. As you can see over the years, the brothers and sisters that the Most High blessed this truth with teaches the both Old Testament and the New Testament. Why? Because of history. The Bible is not just a bunch of nice sayings. So it would be very foolish if you don't have the history of the nations in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Now the Bible teaches it's very important to first master the Bible, all right? Before you can go into any other books, very important you master the Bible. Go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 12, verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Because you cannot get through all the books that are made, and you read all these books, you thinking, you know what, if you read one more book, then you're going to believe that Christ came back to the world, all right, so he could save the Israelites, the 12 tribes. Okay, you're steady looking for books or information to debunk that. Or you're thinking, you know what, the Bible is not enough, the Apocrypha is not enough, I need to go see what the other nations think. No, the Most High say, and further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much studying is a weariness of flesh. So be moderate, all right? When you study anything, it's going to wear you out. Over time, their eyes get tired. They're tired of reading. All right, so it's good to pace yourself and to put yourself on a schedule so you don't burn yourself out. Okay? Reading, just like anything, you can't overdo it. But yes, it's very important to read the Bible and to get the understanding. All right, from there, go to 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. All right, so we must study. We must study. 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that need not to be ashamed, rightly divided the word of truth. Okay, study to show yourself approved All right? Unto God a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Because many people are ashamed that they're Israelites. They can't believe all these years they didn't know, and now that they're Israelites, they have to basically explain to somebody else that, guess what? No, it's only for us, the Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, and people are ashamed of that. All right? The Bible says the other nations would be proud, but something about Black people and Native Americans and Latinos, they're ashamed of the power that the Most High has given to them. All right? And why is that? Because they still have European Christianity on their brain. Where everybody's all equal. It's bad to win. No. Just like the Olympics, you want your nation to win. The Israelites, we are separate, and we have always gloried and celebrated when the other nations fell. Okay? The other nations have put us in slavery, and part of our deliverance, part of our salvation, okay, is to see that our enemies that King David went up against, Abraham went up against, Moses went up against, all right? It's a righteous thing to see the fall of your enemies. How so? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. Now, this could be shocking. The Bible and its contents is only the history of the Israelites. Okay? We, the descendants of the slaves, you Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the Israelites. Now, if you know anything about history, the Bible has been plagiarized. The Bible has been burnt by the nations, okay, who in biblical times wanted to overcome the nation of Israel and their people. And through slavery, they scattered us through the world. Okay, they're not going to teach us this. This is time for the Israelites, us, to wake up. All right, and we have to teach our own self, our own sons and daughters, our own history. Let's go to Baruch. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Psalms 147 first. Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. He showeth his words unto Jacob. Jacob was the 12 tribes. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and for his judgments they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. This is King David praising the Lord, that none of his enemies, none of the nations that are still here on the planet today, because of our wickedness, they are in their rulership and we are in our hell. David is saying, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Go over to Baruch chapter 3 and verse 36. He had found out all the ways of knowledge, and had given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved. Let me read that again. This is Baruch chapter 3 verse 36. He had found out all the ways of knowledge, and had given it unto Jacob his servants, and to Israel his beloved. Go to Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 1. This is what it says. What advantage then had the Jews? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Alright? So this Bible has only been for the nation of Israel. Alright? Our history of us ruling during King David and Solomon time, and then going into slavery, alright, throughout all the nations, and has been scattered through all the nations to build up their kingdoms. Okay? So have fun reading the Bible. It's very important. Remember, the 12 tribes, okay, consist of you Black Americans, you West Indians. The Black Americans are Judah. The West Indians are Benjamite. The Haitians are Levi. The Puerto Ricans are Ephraim. The Cubans are Manasseh. The Dominicans are Simeon. Guatemala to Panama. Alright, historical, they are known as the Mayans. The Mayans in the Bible, they are Zebulon. The Native Americans are Gad in the Bible. Gad. The Seminole Indians are Reuben in the Bible. The people from Colombia to Uruguay, in history, they are known as the Incas. In the Bible, they are known as Asher, the tribe of Asher. The so-called Mexicans that everyone loves to hate, but they love their food. In history, they are known as the Aztecs. In the Bible, they are known as Issachar, the tribe of Issachar. Okay? And then you have the people from Argentina to Chile. Those people in the Bible are known as from the tribe of Naphtali. Okay? So this is what we have. This is what we have to show. We're starting with the basics, laying it all out. Very important to study. Alright? And enjoy your Israelite learning history. It's your boy Jakim. I'm signing out. Peace, love, shalom. Have a good week.